Hi dear students, in the last class we had seen that the Indian saint, he asked one question to Alexander the Great: how can a robber be a conqueror and a giver? And in a way, the Indian saint, he called Alexander the Great as a robber because he conquered the world by stealing the wealth of other countries. And in today's class we will discuss the response of Alexander the Great. Alexander turned pale, not knowing what to say. He stood still like a statue. It was a shock for Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was there to give some kind of help to Indian saints, but the Indian saint, he asked one question. It is, how can a robber be a conqueror and a giver? The conqueror or the robber, he conquers only. He only takes the things from others. He won't give anything to other people. So this question was something challenging for Alexander the Great, and it was very shocking for Alexander the Great. The saint continued, "Well, my child, if you really want to conquer the world, first win the hearts of the countrymen with love. As for us, we have renounced the world and we do not need anything. Whatever is left with us, now we can give that too. Now tell me, what do you want?" And then the saint continued and he said to Alexander that, "Well, my child, if you really want to conquer the world, then what you have to do? First, win the hearts of the countrymen with love. You must conquer the world and the heart of countrymen, the people with love. Then only you can be the true conqueror. Otherwise, you will be a robber because you are conquering by stealing the wealth of other people. And that is something very wrong. If you want to conquer the world and if you want to take control over the world, then what you have to do? You have to love the people, and through love you have to conquer the world, not by stealing others." Then he said, "As for us, we have renounced the world and we do not need anything. So you asked us, so you are here to give something for us, but we have already renounced. We left the world and we do not worry about the worldly affairs. So we do not need anything, but if you want, we can give something to you. And then whatever is left with us now, we can give that too. Now tell me, what do you want?" Then the saint said, "We left or we renounced the worldly affairs and we are ready to give whatever left with us." And said, "What do you want?" Then after hearing that, Alexander could not believe his ears. He had never seen or heard things like this. So this was the first time he heard such kind of words from someone else. So he was very sad and he knew that he had done something wrong. What was the wrong he did? He conquered India by stealing and by killing other people. And he understood that this is totally wrong, and that guilt feeling made him sad. And he saluted the saint without saying a word. He mounted his horse and went back to his camp. The caravan followed the master. So after this, he saluted the saint and he went back to his tent, and he was unable to say any words, and he was totally shocked by hearing the words from saints. So he went back to his tent. It was dawn and Alexander could hear the chattering of birds. He had made a decision. He stopped his forward march. He released King Puru and put off his future plans to conquer other parts of India. So in the morning, Alexander the Great, he made a decision. And what was the decision made by Alexander the Great? Stop his forward march. And then he released King Puru and he just put off his future plans to conquer other parts of India. He just stopped his future plans to conquer other parts of India. So the words from the Indian saints that changed the life of Alexander the Great. So in this chapter we had seen that Alexander the Great, with the aim of conquering the world, he came to India and he defeated King Puru. And then he went to see the countryside and he found that many women and children were crying, but he did not have any mercy or sympathy on them. And later when he went to jungle, he found that some of the Indian saints performing yajnas and they were half naked. So he felt sorry about them and he felt sympathy about them, so he brought some woolen dress for them. But they did not pay any attention towards Alexander the Great. And one of the saints said one general truth to Alexander the Great, and he asked Alexander, how can a robber be a conqueror and a giver? In a way, he called Alexander the Great as a robber because he was conquering the world by stealing the wealth of other people. And then he continued and said that in order to conquer the world, what he must do, what Alexander must do, first he must love the people, love the countrymen. And that is the true victory. If someone conquers the world or the other countries by killing and stealing, then that is not a true victory. If you want to make a true victory, then you have to conquer the hearts of people by love. You have to conquer the hearts of people by loving them. And this statement from the saint, it was something very shocking for Alexander the Great, and he made a decision in his life. And what was his decision? He stopped his forward march and then he released King Puru and he put off his future plans to conquer the other parts of India. I hope that you understood this chapter well. It is a simple chapter. Go through the chapter and find the answers. After your first terminal exam, we have discussed 5 chapters. So for your next exam, these 5 chapters will be there, and only these 5 chapters will be there. So go through the chapters clearly, and if there is any doubts, you just ask me and clear your doubts. Thank you. Have a nice day.